Hello, this is Not the Real Satoshi, and I figured I might as well do one of these, but this is going to be a little unorthodox. For one, I'm not going to be able to show you any clips, and for two, I'm actually going to look at the entire MCU, not just one scene. So, I'm not going to submit this because it's so unorthodox, but I am going to post it. I have all the Avengers movies. I don't have any of the other movies, but I've seen all the movies except for Thor: The Dark World. I have not seen Thor: The Dark World. Take that back. It was on TV one time, and I couldn't pay attention to it. But let's look at the entire MCU as one marvelous scene. How about that? So let me turn this down. Okay, by the way, all the music from here is by Q Tracks or Q Beats. I got a package of beats from him, so I'm using those as the background music. So, when I was a kid, Iron Man come out. But before all that, there was all these other Marvel movies that ultimately helped accumulate the popularity for Marvel to release something like Iron Man and for it to actually work. Now, disclaimer, I have not read very many of the comics, but I've read some comics. I'm not going to say I've never read a comic, but you can assume I've never read a comic. So let's look at this from the perspective of somebody who's never read a comic book going in to see something like Iron Man whenever they're familiar with stuff like Spider-Man, the Hulk, X-Men, etc. And Iron Man was amazing. It blew everyone away, and of course it had a little bit of a messy third act, but I wouldn't have known that as a kid. It was just amazing. I actually didn't see the post-credits scene, so as far as I knew, Iron Man was just Iron Man. And I saw Hulk. As far as I knew, The Incredible Hulk was a sequel to Ang Lee's Hulk. And I was actually kind of a Hulk fanboy. I played the Hulk games and the Hulk everything. So I'm a little salty that I didn't get my Hulk versus the Leader movie. But, here's hope into the future. And all of a sudden, I finally see the post-credit scene, and I had just played the Marvel Ultimate Alliance video game, so I figured that's what they were doing. I didn't know what the Avengers was. I thought they were going to make Marvel's Ultimate Alliance the movie, but it was still amazing to me. It was marvelous. So I don't know if anybody's done the one marvelous scene being the end credit scene of Iron Man. I was literally just about to do I Can Do This All Day, but somebody posted it an hour before I started recording this. It's 10:43 of April 24th, and somebody posted this an hour ago of I Can Do This All Day. I was just like, man. So they got to it before I did, so that's what I get. But it's okay. At least I looked before I posted, so good for me. That's why I'm doing it like this. I don't think anybody's done this. And I can't show you the clips because I don't have the software. So I guess you can just look at this from the perspective of the everyday fan who's gotten into it because of the movies, and I used to have a lot more of the movies, but I've been moving around. I've been losing the DVDs and stuff. I grew up a Spider-Man fanboy first and foremost. I know I said Hulk fanboy, but I liked the Hulk, but I was Spider-Man fanboy first and foremost. It was like, if not the first, it was the second movie I ever saw in a theater. I was like 5. It was just amazing. So the fact that Spider-Man's in the MCU, I'm eternally grateful for that, and I know, I'm just winging this right now, and you're probably like, this isn't, skip this one, but I don't know, let's just sit here and talk about this for a second. how amazing is the MCU to you? How marvelous is the MCU to you? I can't believe it happened. There's been some movies that were not that great, like Thor: The Dark World. It was just, I couldn't pay attention to it. There's been some movies that were obviously more about the message than the plot, but that's whatever. That's just kind of how movies are made nowadays. But that's fine. Having a message is fine. I just kind of wish you put the plot before the message. But overall, how marvelous is the MCU? It's the greatest cinematic feat of all time, period. Ever. It's amazing. It's marvelous. It's perfect. It's not perfect, but it's almost perfect, and that's what makes it amazing. If it was perfect, it would feel too manufactured. So the fact that it's a little off-kilter, so what? So are the comic books. I've been looking into the history of the comic books because I can't get my hands on very many comic books themselves, and they look pretty clunky to me. So any clunks in the MCU, so did the comic books. I was thinking, okay, so little off topic. You know how, of course, they have Fox now. How can we incorporate all the characters from there into the MCU? Well, it's going to be pretty hard, if not impossible, to get the Hugh Jackman and that crew of the X-Men over to here, but here's something interesting. They do have the Blade character now, right? You remember how Ryan Reynolds was in Blade Trinity? So we all know he's Wade Wilson, not Hannibal King, but he was an assassin first and foremost, correct? Could he not, and should he not, have previous aliases, such as something I think Wade Wilson would come up with, Hannibal King? Wade Wilson could be Hannibal King, and Blade and all that stuff could have happened in that 1999 to 2003 time frame. That's between Captain Marvel and Iron Man, so that could have all happened. Now, why would that not get the attention of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Maybe they were up to bigger things. Maybe they just didn't want to fuck around with vampires. Maybe they heard the term vampire and just didn't believe it at first. There could be a reason for this, okay? But you could say that Wade Wilson was, Wade Wilson was Hannibal King. I had a complete brain fart, I'm sorry. Because I was thinking, I know that you're thinking that, well, Deadpool's not in the MCU, but it's Deadpool. It's Deadpool. He can just walk in. And if you have to have an explanation for it, one thing I thought of, looking into the comic history, right? He has two things you could combine into one thing that could explain this away if you have to have an explanation, but it's Deadpool. As far as I'm concerned, just a movie watcher, but you don't have to have an explanation for how Deadpool comes into the MCU. You do with Blade, but that can just come with Deadpool. But if you have to have an explanation, Deadpool had that teleportation belt, right? But instead of making it teleportation to and from specific places, he could have it transport him to different universes. Could be at random. Could be targeted universes. And the other item would be his slightly infamous bag of holding. See, he would transport from one universe to another, grab a weapon, and come back. And I don't know, maybe it's like it has a randomizer, and you can transport to a random universe, and it can take you back to the previous setting, or some shit, if you have to have an explanation. But that all sounded really complicated, didn't it? So just maybe don't have an explanation. So, let's look at this as all one scene, right? It's all one scene. All the movies, all the press, all the accumulation of everything Marvel has ever done as one scene. Little clunky, nice lighting, looks bright and fantastic and holds hope for the future. Ups and downs throughout the scene, but I'm just bullshitting right now. It's alright. Now you may have noticed that all the movies that I got, they're all wrapped up currently. I've seen them all, but I just got them from the Disney Movie Club. They were offering, 4 movies for $1, and I mean, you gotta commit to their Disney Movie Club. No, this is not sponsored, but I did think that was pretty cool. I was able to get the Avengers movies for $1. I used to have all the Phase 1 movies. Frustrates me that I don't have them all now, but I am so excited to see Endgame. It literally comes out, well, tomorrow, but 3 days before my birthday, so I'll probably be going to see it on my birthday. Don't spoil it, you assholes. I will find you. I have a very specific Skittles. I have a very specific set of Skittles. Yes, a very specific. This is definitely the worst video in the bunch. Think of this as the Thor of the Dark World of the Marvelous Scene point. Oh, this is great. So, what of these guys? What are we gonna do with these guys? Well, this whole cast is gone, and that whole continuity is gone. One theory I saw was interesting, that maybe the Infinity Stones activated the X gene when they are brought back. So when they come back after they've literally been to some other realm or wherever the fuck they're gone to, man, see, that's why I can't submit this. I don't know. I'm hurt for the mouth. I'm sorry. Anyway, so what was I talking about? Yeah, so the Infinity Stones activated the X gene, and they're over here, and then they come back, and they've been exposed to this infinity energy, and so it activated their gene, and it's really weird. How long has this gone on? 13 minutes? Okay, I'm not even a verified channel, so I literally have 2 minutes left. Spider-Man's in the MCU, and I'm eternally grateful for that. The MCU in general, I'm eternally grateful for that. Falcon's kind of whack, but it's okay because I think that's kind of part of the point. It's kind of funny. I remember seeing Cosmonaut Variety Hour saying that Captain America should be able to lift Thor's hammer, but that really only happens when he's in the heat of battle, so it very well could happen in Endgame. He could just be enraged, and he's ready to just go into battle. And see, that's another thing, because Thor is like, kind of Viking mythology, Norse mythology, and so they all believe in the heat of battle, and that's why he's technically considered more virtuous by the hammer than he is than Captain America is by Mjolnir. And yeah, that's it. That's my one marvelous scene video. It's all one marvelous scene. Maybe that's my one marvelous scene. No, somebody already did that. Anyway, so yep, I'm just gonna post this as is. Y'all probably hate it, but it's okay. So let's all just get hyped for Endgame. It's gonna be freaking awesome. You have no idea. I'm so excited. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna post this as is. Later, guys. Bye.